Liverpool.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Cock Council. How are we all? Hopefully all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. And this is our match preview show for the Merseyside derby. Yes, we faced the blue and white shites at it's not at Anfield, it's at Goodison Park. I do have to get that correct. At 12:30 tomorrow. I believe it's on BT Sport, so you guys can go and check it out there. And as you can see, I am joined by a very special guest in Jack Mack LFC. Jack, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Thank you for having me on as well. Hopefully you're keeping safe, every single one of these Reds, and there's any Everton fans as well joining, watching the video. Let us know your thoughts. But thank you for having me on, as always, mate. But absolute pleasure. But hopefully you're keeping safe and well, mate. Most important thing.
Yeah, and you as well, mate. You know, I know things are a bit crazy at the minute, you know, especially up north way. So yeah, hopefully everyone's keeping safe as well. And remember, wash your hands as well and stay 2 meters, even though, you know, the government's ruling is just pathetic. But we're not here to talk about government. We're not here to talk about politics, because politics is just stupid. We're here to talk about football. We're here to talk about the Merseyside derby, of course, Liverpool versus Everton. It's been intensified, I think, you know, since Liverpool's 7-2 loss. I don't really want to say that, but we sadly have to. You know, it's been sadly intensified by that. And I think as well the international break as well hasn't helped the cause as well. But before we do jump in to the preview, we're going to talk a little bit about transfers for the first 15-20 minutes of this video, because of course the transfer window, of course, shut a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like a week ago now, I think. But the English market, if you want to call it that, was kept open. You know, Premier League clubs, Championship and League One, League Two could make transfers and all that today. That ended today at 5 p.m. And there has been some very interesting news. Let's just say that at least. And especially, if I can get him up on screen, especially with this man in Harry Wilson, of course, making the move to Cardiff City. I believe I think the loan fee is around £1.3 million, you know, coming towards Liverpool and that. And Jack, what's your thoughts about Harry Wilson going, you know, down to the Championship and going to Cardiff City?
It's very interesting, and I think it was one that I think we all expected, really. Liverpool fans, it was like fringe players, him and Elliott, really. It would have been very disappointing for them as a personal point of view, from a footballing point of view, not playing regular first team football. Given his age, he needs to be playing, and he done well when he was on loan at Bournemouth. I think we can all agree on that. But I think Liverpool would have liked to have seen him go for a full transfer fee, obviously when the window was open. But I think for Cardiff, it's an excellent signing. He's Premier League quality, not on the level of Salah, Mane and that, but I think he's a very established Premier League player, and him going down to the Championship, I think Cardiff will be very, very happy with securing the services.
Yeah, definitely. And I know there was a lot of teams interested in Harry Wilson. I think there was Swansea that had a bid rejected yesterday. I think Swansea offered like 500,000 in loan fees, and that's why it got rejected. And of course, Cardiff offered more. Apparently, Bristol City and Nottingham as well all wanted him as well. So Harry Wilson was a very wanted person yesterday. Today, sorry. And you know, that is. You know, I agree. I think the move is a great signing for Cardiff, at least. You know, maybe now, of course, last year, I think they lost Fulham in the playoffs last year. So, of course, Harry Wilson will bring that Premier League experience to them, at least anyway. And for me, he probably walks in now to probably their best player. In my personal opinion, you know, as little as I know about Cardiff anyway, of course, living in South Wales, I saw you years freaking Cardiff and Swansea, but, you know, Swansea are the better team as far as I know at the moment. But, you know, that wasn't the only big transfer, of course, today, because another man left Liverpool today on loan, and that was Mr. Harvey Elliott. He has joined Blackburn, you know, on a season-long loan as well. I believe it's around a £1 million fee as well for him. So, you know, very good business in terms of Liverpool and trying to get a bit of money in for him. And Jack, I know that, you know, in our group chat, you know, I know Mickey's a huge fan of Harvey Elliott. Are you a bit gutted that he hasn't stuck around this year? You know, maybe with Shaqiri not keeping up his fitness, maybe he could have got some Premier League game time this season.
Yeah, I think every Liverpool fan around the world, when we've done our podcasts on everyone's channels, we've debated heavily where Harvey lies in this Liverpool squad. Obviously, he's got a massive future at Liverpool, but it's he's only 17 years old. I think everyone forgets how young he is, but I think these are crucial years. I tell you, if he can get himself established at a championship club, there's no better league in the whole of Europe and the whole of the world to really make a player like more of a man. I think he will get kicked. He get walloped. He'll get Everton put against him anyway. But I think he will learn a lot at this loan period anyway. It's a massive move for him, and just as we mentioned with Harry anyway, he will establish himself at the club, and he's guaranteed first team minutes. Something that wasn't available for him at Liverpool. Obviously, given our experience up top anyway, but I think this will be a big move for him. It will make him a man, more of a person anyway as well. But I'd be very intrigued to see how well he does, because I think he'll be one of the easily the best players in the whole of that league, even though he is 17 years old. But he's got the vision, he's got the guile, and he's got the absolute quality to thrive there.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I've seen a couple of people on Twitter saying that they didn't think it was the right move for him. I didn't think that was, where he should be going. But as far as I know, Blackburn play a similar system to Liverpool in like 4-3-3 and a very high press. So that's probably very good for Liverpool in some sense, because of course, like Jack said, he can learn from the championship in that aspect of things, and try and break in to the Liverpool squad. Maybe not next year, but the year after, of course, with players moving on. And so as well. But guys, let us know your thoughts and your opinions about those two transfers in particular. Of course, there were other bits of transfer news that I will mention, after I've mentioned your comments in a minute. So Chris is in saying, "Hi lads, hope you're both well. I'm doing fantastic, mate. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day yourself." Seamus Moore says, "Good evening." Liz says, "Hiya lads." Dave goes, Get in Reds. Get in Reds. Absolutely. Get in, Dave. Doug says, "Hello, everyone. I nearly joined their stream, but I couldn't." Haha. You can join if you want, Doug. The link's in the Skype group. Get in here. Sir Klopp says, "What's up?" What's up to you as well, Sir Klopp? Hopefully having a fantastic day, mate. Chris says, "I can't wait for tomorrow, where I can hopefully put Everton back under their rocks and Virgil van Dijk's pocket. Everton's Pookie, which is Calvert-Lewin, just putting a dig in there." We will get talking about, of course, Liverpool versus Everton, or Everton versus Liverpool, however you want to put it. But Dave says a good move for him. I think that was with Harry Wilson. Diego's in as well, saying, "Evening all." Hello to you, Diego. Hopefully having a fantastic day, mate. Also as well, let us know, Diego, did Crystal Palace sign Jack Butland after? I know that was being going around on Twitter, apparently for 500k. I don't know if that's true. If that is true, then you've got one hell of a steal there. Liz says, "Good for Wilson, a chance to be a starter." Yeah, absolutely. I think he walks in to that team without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. Seamus, do you think Jota might get a start tomorrow? We will talk about the derby. We will talk about our thoughts about who should be playing. Elliott, E.T., exciting teenager. Yeah, he is.
E.T.
Don't get Dave doing another catchphrase, please. Oh, God, no. Doug says, "Wilson linking up with Volks and Kiefer Moore, national teammates for Wales." Yeah, that's true as well, because Jack, I know we talked then about Harvey Elliott and Harry Wilson. Like, let's not forget, this is a European year again, which is weird, because of course, obviously the Euros got cancelled obviously last year, so that might be actually a good factor for him, really.
Yeah, I think, is it Giggs as your manager now? I think he would have been banging on the door telling Harry, "You've got to move, or you won't be in the selection for the international team." Because especially with Bale, and it's a big year for every national player, especially if they are in contention of getting selected for the national teams anyway around the world. So I think if there's any players that were wanting to maybe sit on the bench and go, "Yeah, I'll collect my wages," but I don't think Harry definitely not a player like that. But it'd be interesting to see, and I think it'd be a big move for them, mate, especially because he'd be a big. Does he play for Wales? I don't watch. What is he?
He does, but it's like, I think he's more in and out. Like, I think he's like, when we have, I think, a full squad, I think he plays in the middle more. I say this because like I barely watch Welsh football. That's me being bad. I do keep an eye on it sometimes, but if Bale's fit and Dan James is fit, then I think Giggs will try and put him in the middle. If not, he'll probably put him on the bench and play him then second half. But yeah, I think he's probably one of those players that will just linger on the 11 if he's not starting anyway. Doug says great signing. I think that was with Harvey Elliott. Dave said it's huge tomorrow, Red. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Absolutely. So Klopp says Wilson will start at Cardiff. He was the standout player at Hull and Bournemouth in the Premier League. Sad that it hasn't worked out for him at LFC. I'm actually surprised that a Premier League club hasn't actually bought him this season. That for me it's just crazy, in my personal opinion. Anyway, Chris says, I see Harry Wilson smashing it at Cardiff in the Championship next season. Who knows? Cardiff might buy him on a permanent. Wilson, one of those who's always loaned out. Need to sell him at some point. Yeah, we do, to be fair. And I think if Cardiff get promotion, I think he'll 100% move to Cardiff then. Obviously Welsh club, Welsh international, he'll move there, 100%. I personally think it'll just be whether or not they will pay probably 20 million, what Liverpool is still going to offer, ask for next year anyway, in that terms. Dave says he needs game time. Absolutely, he does deserve game time. So Klopp says a good move for Elliott, need minutes, and he won't get any game time this season. For us, Shaqiri is more important to the squad. I would agree with that, but how many times is Shaqiri going to get injured this season? That's the only worry for me. Of course, Shaqiri, he's the number one backup for Mo Salah, in my opinion, but it is the injury worry. And to be fair, we say that, man, we've got Jota, Minamino, Origi, we're not short on options, Jack, are we?
No, we've got them coming out of it. I think, considering FSG, they like to save money. So if any player, especially obviously Brewster, it's great for him from a personal point of view. I think there was a lot of Liverpool fans that would like to have seen him stay. I think I was in that camp as well, but I think you can't be greedy with some players. As much as we want to keep all these young players, but at the end of the day, they've got to get this first team footballer and really establish themselves. Like with Marco Grujic, he's been loaned out about like 10 million seasons on the bounce, it feels like. But some players, they just have to be getting put on loan, because if they were to stay at Liverpool, the game time would not be there. So it's best for them to really just get that first team football.
Yeah, absolutely. And, guys, let me quickly show you the list anyway of our transfer window. Of course, James Pearce, good old reliable James Pearce, obviously tweeted out Liverpool's transfer deals this summer. Of course, Jota, Thiago, Tsimikas as the ins, and then outs: Brewster, Lovren, Keanu Hoover, Ajaria, Kane. Of course, Harvey Kane moving to Barnsley, I believe, for that amount. So that was good. Harry Wilson, of course, Grujic, and then all the rest, Ojo, Elliott, Karius. I'm not going to pronounce that name. Woodburn loans as well. Of course, Ben Woodburn as well, getting loaned out to Blackpool as well. So even that's big news in many respects. Of course, going back to Neil Critchley, of course, and that. And realistically, I think that, Jack, we've been, I think Ben Woodburn in particular has been a forgotten man at Liverpool. He was once the youngest ever goal scorer for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's mad. I think he's at Oxford and everywhere now, where he was at for a brief time anyway. But it's mad. And I think, obviously, prior seasons, prior to before having Klopp anyway, I think there would have been a lot more opportunities for young players if Liverpool's team wasn't as good as it is now. But I think, like the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Real Madrid, the Barças, you've got all these young players coming through the academy, or they buy them and then just keep them in the academy. There's not that many opportunities. I think Trent was very much a freak, really. He was that good. there was no way he could not have been played. He was very highly regarded at Liverpool. Obviously, Steven Gerrard, when he was there, talked him up since the age of 12 and all that, since he's been at the academy. But there will be players on Klopp's radar. We know how good he is in terms of analysing players from the ages of 12. And then he watches every category of Liverpool. So he'll know if he's going to stay there for the next 5 to 10 years, he'll know, give 10 years time who's going to be coming through. But I think, Ben, it's going to be interesting. I think if he was going to be getting sold officially, really, I think Jurgen would have got rid of him a long time ago. But you just want him to get the best anyway. Cut your cloth, really, in some signings and some clubs as well. It's like Brewster as well. And I would have loved to have stayed, but you got to say, just go out, lads, and insert a buyback option if he does come good anyway in the future. But it is sad some players to see them go, but you've got to look past it and just wish for the best for them. Yeah,
absolutely. And the best thing I think with Brewster is the fact that we have the buyback and we have the sell-on clause as well in the contract, which makes it 10 times better, because either way, Liverpool have control of Brewster realistically. And it's kind of like, because as far as I know, that deal, I think Liverpool have control of her for at least 3 years. So technically, it's like a 3-year loan deal, realistically, if it was to work out for Brewster anyway. So, very, very interesting as well. And also as well, guys, please, I did ask this on Twitter, but let us know, how would you rate Liverpool's transfer window? I know a couple of people mentioned a few 7s, a few 8s on Twitter. So, guys, please leave your, comments in the comment section down below. Let me know out of 10 how you would rate Liverpool's transfer window anyway. But let me get into a few more comments then before we do finally get into the Everton game. Dave said he's been 17 for about 2 years now. I think that's concerning Harvey Elliott. Yes. Let's be fair, he is a very, very young player. Liz says Elliott needs experience in game time. Good business. Chris says Jota signing. Damon Elliott hopes of getting game time at Liverpool. Why we've seen, as we've seen with Wilson and Elliott loaned out. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is realistically where it is in many things. So Klopp asks, "Where's Ajaria?" I believe he's gone to Reading. As far as I know, yeah, he has gone to Reading.
I think he's in the Championship somewhere. Yeah, I think
it was like a lottery. Then it was like Reading ? Yeah, but I think he's at Reading. I think we did sell him this season. Last I heard, we missed out, but that was at 12 at noon today. I believe that was with Jack Butland. Yeah, be interesting. Let me know, Diego, or anyone else in the chat as well. Chris says at Reading, so club. There we go. Thank you, Chris, for that. Doug says Charlie Adam has just scored for Dundee at Hearts. What a fella from Grace. Jesus Christ, Charlie Adam. Wow, remember those old dark days? Doug says, like, share, and subscribe to the Cop Council, closing on a 400, and I'm close to 600. Yeah, I did see that. Well done, Doug. If everyone try and get Doug to 600, and while you're here, give a cheeky subscribe if you want. But Chris says, unfortunately, not worked out for Woodburn at Liverpool, and I think selling him eventually will be the best option for him. He's just lost confidence, which is a shame. Yeah, that is true, because I don't even think he's a part of Wales' squad anymore as well, which is a bit disappointing for him anyway, in terms of missing out in many respects anyway. What else do we have? Liz says Trent, as always, is always insane maturity on and off the pitch, a real standout player. Yeah, absolutely. Doug said Crystal Palace signed Jack Butland from Stoke City on a 4-year deal. That's very good then. How much was it for? Was it for a 500k? Let me know in the comments, or let us know in the comment section down below. Thanks, Doug, for the thing. Kale says, will Sancho come to Liverpool? I'll let Jack answer that. Jack?
I think we'll have a lot of shows in the future. I think that's the most searched phrase on Liverpool YouTube at the minute anyway. But yeah, I think it will be interesting, because I think I've seen a couple of journalists on Twitter. I know Twitter was down yesterday, but over the last couple of days since I've not been doing YouTube, I've been having a look on every social media platform and everyone's channels and that, and news articles. It's been very interesting. I've seen a couple of stories originating saying that Liverpool will be looking to offload Salah or Mane, if you want to believe too much into that. But it'd be interesting. Sancho, he's a fantastic player. I think he does need a couple more years in the Bundesliga to really establish himself in the top of the European game. But it'll be interesting, to say at least. I'd love it if Manchester United bought him for 200 million, because he's nowhere worth 200 million. But if Dortmund do take Manchester United to the cleaners for him, hopefully they do. And there's no doubt in the lad's quality, but if you're talking in excess of 100 plus million, I don't think he's quite worth that as of yet. But if he has a fantastic season, gets Dortmund to a Champions League semi-final or at least final, then you could be talking big money there. But if I think he will in the future, yes. Because I think he's mixed with Jurgen, probably has spoken to Jurgen anyway, behind closed doors. But he's good mates with Trent, and he's good mates with Gomez as well. So they're very pally when they do go away with England duty. If you haven't noticed, everyone, keep an eye on that.
Agent Trent and Agent Gomez on the deal. To be fair, and I've said this for a while, it's either going to be Sancho 21 or Mbappe 21. It's going to be one or it's going to be either one of them.
Why not both of them? Just get crazy,
Oh, come on, Jack. We're not Chelsea. It's not career mode.
No, I tell you.
I'd love it. I'd love it if we had both of them. But I just feel like then we'd have to sell probably all of the front three to try.
I think we'd only have to sell one from three. I reckon if it was to sell Salah or Mane, you'd get easy a lot of money. Not that I want to sell any of them, but you would expect a big transfer fee for them.
How much would you say? I'd probably go 250. If Neymar's going for if he's going for 220, and for me, Mane and Salah are way better than Neymar.
I don't want to sell Mane, but if it was to see Salah going, I think easy 150 to 200 million, just for the reach of what it'd bring to the football club and the play that you're getting. But I don't want to sell any of them by.
Oh no, I don't either. No.
Yeah, but if it was the case, I think you would see a big transfer fee.
Definitely. Doug says 500k rising to 1 million for Jack Butland. That's very, very good. Maybe Liverpool should have gone for him. Maybe.
Just had me on 500 quid a week. Yeah.
Well, Chris says no more Butland to Liverpool rumours every season. No, that's true. That is very true. But let's get away from transfer news then, and let's actually talk about Liverpool versus Everton, or Everton versus Liverpool. Of course, like I said, it is at Goodison Park, or the wooden shed, if you want to call it that. Either way, hopefully no Everton fans in here. Anyway, but yeah, of course, Everton have had a fantastic start to the season, winning 4 out of 4. Liverpool 3 out of 4. Some weird accident happened, 2 weeks ago. We won't mention that, but they have had a good start, and we can't take anything away from them. But Jack, what's your thoughts of Everton so far this season? Anyway,
very impressed. I've got to say to you, I think overs. If you take your tinted glasses off, every Liverpool fan, you've got to appreciate what Carlo Ancelotti's done. I think if any. You've got to appreciate the manager. He's a fantastic, world-class manager. Let's not forget that. For what he's done all around Europe, winning European Cups, the Giants in AC Milan and all that, and won league titles in every league he's been in, most of the time anyway. But I think it's helping Everton not being at home with a crowd. I think the pressure, Goodison Park, you can hear it on the telly, and that they're very demanding at home especially, but I think it's helped when results haven't gone their way the back end of last season, and when performances have not looked the best, but they're still getting results. I think that Carlo, James Rodriguez, what a sign for them. I tell you, if they can keep him fit, he is going to be a fantastic player. Everyone knew James Rodriguez's quality. Everyone goes, he doesn't run around. When I've been speaking to me, a couple of my Everton mates, they've been very impressed with him, and the likes of Allen as well. Decore, I think we'll talk about him in a little second, but some of the signings, they're very shrewd and very good business by Everton. And I tell you, if they can be consistent this season, it'd be great for Merseyside if we could have 2 teams in Europe. It'd be like back in the old days anyway. 2 Scouse teams on top anyway, but I've been very, very impressed. And it'll be interesting to see everyone at home, their thoughts as well. What do you reckon? Have you been impressed?
I have, for sure. I think that you mentioned there James Rodriguez and Allen and things like that. They are very good business. What was it? Allen, 25 million or 35 million. James Rodriguez, apparently they got on a free, according to one of James Rodriguez's old clubs, because they had like a pay thing with Real Madrid and things like this. And apparently they haven't received any money. So Everton got him on a free transfer, which for me is a fantastic signing. And like you say, Decore as well, very good for Watford over the last couple of years. I know Liverpool were linked with him before we ended up getting Fabinho and that. So Liverpool were interested in him. I think it was like last season or the season before, he said that he held talks with Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, my mate Ryan, he's probably one of the most. I think he's been on the channel anyway, but he's quite level-headed for an Evertonian. But he said he said to me last week whenever we were playing anyway, he's like, oh no, it's Decore in midfield with Davies and Tom Davies and Sigurdsson or whoever was playing, because they didn't have Allen and James Rodriguez, and he was like, oh. But Decore, when I watched Match of the Day, absolutely bossed it on his own. I tell you, as you said, Denlan, he is one signing. And considering how he got him for quite cheap, did he? I'm not too sure.
I think it was no. I think it was 30. I think it was 30. I'll have a quick check now, but I think it was 30.
Still for 30 mil, I think it was very good business. Something that the likes of Everton haven't got. Obviously, they lost Idrissa Gana Gueye to PSG. It was last season or the season before, and they really missed out on that really hard tackling midfielder. But I tell you, the one person that has very much surprised me, and I knew he'd be a pain in the backside, and he will be tomorrow, is Allen. I love him as a player because he's a fantastic world-class player. But he annoyed me when we played Napoli because he just kicked all of our midfielders across the park. He's a little, he's a little naughty boy the way in which he plays. But that's what you need in midfield. That's what Fabinho does. That's what our midfielders do. When you don't have it, you miss it. You miss that bit of grit and like terrier. You need a terrier in midfield that really just bites at the heels of your midfielders. But he's a class signing for them.
Yeah. So I'm having a look right now on Transfer Market, and according to them, Everton signed Decore from Watford for £19.8 million, which is a ridiculous price. Absolutely ridiculous price. And yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think, even though for me, watching Everton this season, they've played 4-3-3 quite a lot. And James Rodriguez be on that right-hand side. For them, and trying to cut inside and trying to use the likes of Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin a bit more in the game. For me personally, I think that they're going to change it a little bit in this game. I think they're probably going to go maybe a 3 in midfield with James above the 3 and not so much out wide, because I think realistically Liverpool are going to dominate possession. Everton are going to most likely play very counter-attacking football, and for me, I think if James Rodriguez gets a ball through our defense, and it depends how our defense are. If we're good like Arsenal, then we should be fine.
Villa, then
if it's Villa, expect 10. Expect 10. I could have said, but look. At the end of the day, I think our defensive worries. I think Klopp will be that much angry. Over the last 2 weeks, he'll want to definitely get the defensive issues sorted, and I think of course, having Virgil van Dijk as the chief, as the number one chief. Let me take that off. As the chief, he's gonna control everything anyway. But for me, I think things could get a little bit of tasty. Especially if James is on form. And
in the words of bootlegger.
Mate, honestly, I swear to God, if we lose this game 7-2, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry on camera. But Liz says 3-1 Liverpool. LFC Hendo to score a belter. Everton can suck it. Hopefully. Seema says, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I think a draw will be a result for Liverpool tomorrow. To be fair, the derby at Goodison, it's offered draws. I believe it's 5 in the last 7. it's been a draw. So things look likely to be a draw anyway tomorrow. But yeah, like let us know anyway your predictions anyway in the comment section before we get to ours anyway. Chris says, I put Everton to finish 6th at the start of the season. They probably might finish there, or might even finish better than that as well. But Balangai says, no Digne for them. I heard a young former PSG left back who is backup might play. They have Andre Gomez. He can play. Good players in Everton. Hopefully LFC win though. Yeah, hopefully fingers crossed as well. But Jack, let's get talking about the Reds. Let's get talking about Liverpool in particular. Of course, Jurgen Klopp has been speaking today in his press conference. Hopefully, if I can get this to work properly, we might be able to hear from Jurgen Klopp himself if YouTube will allow me to work this. There he is. Let me just try and get it working for you guys. Let's make him bigger and let me turn that off. that was an echo we didn't want. But yeah, that's what Jurgen Klopp had to say there. Hopefully you could hear it. We're trying something new on here. Hopefully that worked. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's what Jurgen had to say about injury news anyway. Of course, James Pierce spoke about it as well on Twitter and said that, of course, Alisson, as Jurgen called it there, making good progress. Obviously, it was said that 4 to 6 weeks Alisson would be out. Of course, being out the Merseyside derby and that, and only Naby Keita, of course, obviously due to COVID, tested positive and then tested negative, according to reports out there. Anyway, it was a false positive, so he is back in Liverpool having more tests, I believe, but is of course definitely out, like Jurgen said. But Jack, hearing that Alisson is making good progress and making quick and easy pace, do you see him coming back earlier than the 4 to 6 weeks that was mentioned?
It depends on Ali. He come back quite soon, but I think the last couple of times when we tried to get him back, we've kind of rushed him and he's been injured again. I know it was a very much a freakish injury in training. It was under a tackle and everything. It was like going for the corner or something. But it happens. Players get injured. But if it is a case of rushing him back for the sake of rushing him back and he gets injured, I'd say just leave him. Let him recover within the time frame in which is being allocated, really. But yet again, I know we've spoken about last season, what happened with Adrian, and what happened against Aston Villa. But I think it wasn't just Adrian that had a bad game against Aston Villa. The whole team had a collective absolute collapse. Every single one of them you could point fingers at. But I think if he comes back, Adrian, I'm hoping he does come back confident. And if you want to read reports that he was one of the big voices in the changing room after the Aston Villa game, he put his hands up and he said, "Yeah, I was at fault," and he spoke heavily. If you want to believe all the reports over the last couple of weeks, anyway, after that game. But I'm hoping we have a much better improved performance than what we did at Villa.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully, just hopefully, we get a better performance than that anyway. But of course, as well, Jurgen did mention in the press conference as well, mentioned Sadio Mane, Thiago Alcantara, and Joel Matip is back. All three of them are back. So very, very good news for Liverpool in that aspect of things. Anyway, but let me read a few more of your comments before we get our starting 11 predictions and many more. Chris says, I already read that one out. Guy and Bala read that one out. Chris has my prediction. Everton 1-1 with Liverpool. These derbies usually end in a draw. Yeah, like we said, they do normally end in a draw, especially at Goodison. Ballon Guy says they have Ben, the centre-back from Norwich. Yeah, they do. They did sign him for, I believe, 25 million, I think it was. So that was also a very good signing as well. To be fair, Genie's in. How are you, Genie? Hopefully you're on a fantastic day, mate. Saying hi, everyone. Seema says Mina out for Everton at centre-back. That's very good news then for Liverpool as well, especially if, like someone else mentioned that Luca Digne is also out injured. If that's true as well, Mo Salah could have a field day on that right-hand side. For sure for Liverpool. Chris says our weakness is the high line defensively. Hopefully that's sorted. Yes, that is.
Yeah, that's a big point though.
Yeah, that is a big question. And I was going to ask you about this when we mentioned the teams. But, I'll ask you now, high lines. Of course, with Alisson, it works perfectly because Alisson is a sweeper, a sweeper keeper, as many like to call him. But, with Adrian, do you think that, maybe, back in the 18-19 season when we didn't have Adrian, for example, and we played a bit more deeper, do you think we might have to, revert back to that, while Alisson's out? Or do you think that maybe Adrian can do better and try and do similar to, what Alisson does and does the sweeper keeper action?
In terms of, I think the teams, be interesting to see. We spoke about, we've joked about Man City this season, and then the week after we have a performance that we did. So there's going to be games where Liverpool, it'll be working well, the high press and the high line, but when teams break through that press and absolutely just cut us apart like Aston Villa did, don't get me wrong, we made mistakes, and every mistake that could have been made against Villa led to a goal, but not every game's going to be like that, but that's not taken away from Aston Villa. If teams take that approach and now get all their, say, Grealish, not a pacey player, but he's very creative. So if you're looking at teams trying to isolate always Liverpool's right-hand side of our defence, that will be very interesting to see how Klopp sets up from a tactical point of view. Trent's not the quickest in terms of that. I think down the left-hand side, we've got such defensive quality from Robbo. I absolutely love him. We know how good he is going forward, but he's a much better defender than Trent. So it'd be interesting. I'm hoping Joel Matip does come in. We'll talk about team lineup anyway, but I think just to take Joe Gomez out the firing line, just because he had such an amazing game against Arsenal, and and all the players had a bad stinking anyway. But I think we do need to bring Joel Matip in from a defensive point of view and tell Fabinho to just sit back a bit more and just protect Liverpool's right-hand side, because something has to be happening. It'd be interesting to see everyone at home anyway, because how Jurgen and the tactical lads do approach this game and do approach next coming weeks if Liverpool do persist with continuing to have a high line, which if we are playing players like the likes of Watkins as well, the Aubameyangs and the Martials, quick, pacey players. It's always been the case. I think, Connor, I'll ask you and everyone at home as well. It's always been the case that Liverpool's right-hand side has always been pinpointed and attacked by every team, especially in Europe, most notably as well. But what are your thoughts on that, right, and everyone at home?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think for some reason, everyone tries to attack that right-hand side of Liverpool's, especially Trent and Gomez. I think probably because the inexperience of both in many respects. I know Joe Gomez, he's full, international, England international anyway, and, he has experience. But I think we have to forget sometimes that he is still only 23. And I think that, he's been put into this big limelight of, playing for Liverpool at centre back, being a Premier League champion and things like this. And I think kind of it's been like, I think under Jurgen, there's always been competition for places. I think while Matip's been injured, there hasn't been. So, apart from like maybe Fabinho coming in to play, centre half, apart from that, Gomez hasn't had any worry because he knows that spot is his. I think with Matip coming back, like you said, there's now that, addition to the centre back role. Of course, it's going to be Virgil van Dijk. 10 times out of 10. It's just whether or not who's going to be his partner. And now you've got Gomez, Matip, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson could even play there if we were that desperate in many respects. And I think now it's very good now that we have the options back, because I think, of course, we were speaking about transfers earlier on. We were missing a centre back, in my personal opinion, anyway, during the transfer window, at least, anyway.
Yeah, just pinpoint there. You got Diego's comments up there, miss, about James Rodriguez. Fantastic pointer, and be interesting to see what about Nevs about James's might pick up the runs. Everyone at home.
Wait, whose comment was this? Sorry,
Diego, C Palace. Will you play Liverpool's line? Are you nervous James Rodriguez might pick up there?
Let me quickly find you. There we go.
Yeah, everyone's a very interesting comment. Spot on there, La. It'd be interesting, as Diego just said. Then he will be the main pivotal player for Everton if he is fully fit. Anyway, he will. Rodriguez, he's such a good player, and I think it will be up to Liverpool's midfield players, obviously like Thiago, Henderson as well. Whoever dictates that midfield come tomorrow afternoon anyway, I think will come out the victorious team anyway, because I mean Liverpool continue to play. I think that's what we missed. Everyone at home watching, we sat and watched Henderson furiously. He was fuming on that touchline. He was not happy. Like every single one of us, we sat there. But it's not very often Liverpool will have a game like that. It's very freakish. But he would have, I think Klopp would have said in the changing room, lock them in there for a good half an hour and give them an absolute rollicking. And Henderson would have given a piece of their mind to every single one of them.
He looked like a headmaster, during like when the kids have been naughty, and you can just see the anger on the face. That was literally Jordan Henderson, wasn't it? And, like for me, the best part about it was, like when someone's angry and they crossed armed, and that was Jordan Henderson completely. And I think I agree with you, and let us know in the comments, guys. But that missing intensity from Jordan Henderson, it was seen last year when he was out injured. With Watford, we all remember that Watford performance and things like that. But as well, even the Atletico Madrid game, in my personal opinion, Henderson was brought back way too soon for that. And I think in the end, that was probably what cost us, even though, we had a fantastic 90 minutes and still somehow ended up out to the Champions League. But that's how it is sometimes anyway. But Chris says, let's hope it's a 0-1 to Liverpool. T-Rex arms spilling the ball, Origi winning by a Scouser, Arnold or Jones. That would be fantastic.
Take another 94th minute winner. Oh, I'll take that.
To be fair, if it's a Liverpool win, I do not care. And I think all of us will be like that. Pickford can't lace Adrian's boots, says Chris. Chris also goes with the Thiago Alcantara. Of course, Thiago is back as well. Mo says Adrian is a terrible keeper and he doesn't have the skill set that Alisson has. No, that is true. But at the same time, Alisson's a world-class goalkeeper.
Yeah, there's not many Adrians, Alisson's around anyway.
No, like best three goalkeepers in the world, Alisson, Oblak, and ter Stegen. But Alisson is so different to both ter Stegen and Oblak. Alisson's one of a kind, in my personal opinion.
That's why you pay like 70-80 million pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
No discredit to Adrian because I absolutely love the fella. For what he done last season as well. He has had his hiccups anyway. Feet. I think you've got an Adrian fan in the background here, Tilly. But yeah, I think it's wrong to put him in the same category as to Adrian and Alisson because they're on two complete different levels.
Yeah, exactly. Mo says, God help us if we play Bayern Munich with Adrian in goal. Don't worry, we won't be playing Adrian in goal, hopefully, let alone Ajax. Have faith in Adrian. Have absolute faith in Adrian, as you would in any Liverpool player as well. But Chris says, get behind our players, please, Mo. Yeah, absolutely. If Mina is injured, it will be harder game, says Jeannie. Mo says, I'm behind him, but our players need to be talked about when necessary. I get that, but still always be behind every single Liverpool player, because at the end of the day, you could be saying this now and he could end up saving a 90-minute penalty to win us the game, on the weekend.
Hat-trick of penalties, let's have it.
Jesus. To be fair, like I said, if Divock Origi hit it from the halfway line and hit Jordan Pickford, on the head and he went in, I'd love it.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
There's no, like, Adrian, for what he done last season, and I tell you, there's no better second goalkeeper in Liverpool. I didn't watch him in the 70s and 80s, but Liverpool didn't have a player on that level of Adrian. Because I tell you, he's a fantastic goalkeeper. And for what he done last season, Alisson, I think everyone forgets, he was missing for large chunks at the beginning of the season. And he helped us win the league. Every player in this team plays a part throughout the whole of the season. And don't get me wrong, players make mistakes, as we mentioned there. Gomez, Trent, and no players they're not robots. They're not continuously gonna make the right choice throughout the season. So I think Adrian, he'll have his ups and downs like most players in this Liverpool team. But I think when Adrian is given the opportunity, I think everyone needs just to really get behind him and believe in him, because he is lacking a bit of confidence, and that's obviously quite obvious. But it's not that help when people are jumping on the back of, I'm going, oh, he doesn't need it. And I think it'd give him a lot more confidence if everyone was backing him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's like we said after, I think it was the Carabao Cup game against Arsenal. We said, I think me and Doug were doing it, and we said don't give any players hate, because of course the previous week a load of Liverpool fans, and I will put it in brackets, Liverpool fans, started abusing Nico Williams, even though we won 7-2. At the end of the day, get a freaking grip. Get a freaking grip. But let's move away from that anyway. But Jack, what would be your starting 11 for tomorrow against Everton?
Very interesting. Adrian in goal. Trent, continue it right back. I think having Henderson, I'm putting Henderson in. Is he back fully fit now? Is he still 100%? Yeah. So we'll go with Trent right back. Matip, if he's fully fit, because I absolutely love Joel. If you haven't seen the training videos this week, he's off his absolute marbles. I don't know if he's taking the Mickey out of it. If he's taking the Mickey out of it at the Richarlison celebration, but he's just puts it. I don't. If you've seen it on social media, everyone, if you've missed it, make sure you go after the show. Type in Joel Matip weird, and it'll probably come up from this weekend. We love Joel. He's a character. You need those players. Joel and Van Dijk, because I think personally that is Liverpool's best centre back pairing. I absolutely love Gomez as well, but in terms of I think for me, on top of their form, both of them, I think you've got to play them. Prime example, the Barcelona game, when we won the Champions League, fantastic, especially that second game, not to go the game where we conceded for but the left back Robbo, with Virgil. Midfield, be interesting. I think I've seen a lot of people mention Hendo and Thiago. You've got to mention them. Fabinho in that holding role, just to give that a bit more insurance, really, in terms of defensive, especially on that right hand side. And then you just have Thiago and Hendo anchoring. I think might slightly play Thiago a bit more further forward. He's capable of doing that in that three. And then it's a big one now. Salah, Mane, and Jota, I think.
Oh, wow.
I've seen highlights and watched a bit of the Portugal game that Jota was in, and it was like he was getting trained for Trent's diagonal balls. Like he scored a goal with a ball like come across the field, the box, and he just latched onto it. It was Semedo, whoever plays right back for Portugal. But I think give Bobby a little bit of a rest, because I think it is obvious that he needs it, and play Salah up front or Mane. They can all interchange anyway, but I'll go with those forward three. I'd be interested to see them play.
Very interesting. I know. I think Jota got 2 goals and an assist for Portugal in one game, and he was absolutely fantastic in that. But to be fair, we've got pretty similar lineups. This is my starting 11 prediction. I've gone with Adrian in goal, as you can see, Trent, Matip, Virgil, Robbo. Of course, midfield three: Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago Alcantara to make his full debut for Liverpool. And then I've gone with Bobby Firmino instead of Jota for Jack. Sadio Mane to return, obviously recovering from COVID-19, and then Mohamed Salah then on the right-hand side as well. So, pretty similar 11s. Of course, Jack's gone with Jota. I've gone with Bobby Firmino. The one question I would ask you, we've both gone 4-3-3. Do you think that Klopp might change it and maybe maybe if Matip's not ready, have Fabinho centre back and have a two of Henderson and Thiago, or maybe Henderson and Fabinho and then bring on Thiago later on, or how would you think maybe a 4-2-3-1, adding Jota to maybe the front three and having that against Everton?
Yeah, be interesting. I think that's the options. Hit the nail on the head there. I think scenarios would have been played out and practiced in training this week. I think that's the adaptability of Liverpool. I think there will be a case of, obviously, you've got the likes of Allen, the very workhorse midfielder. He's very in your face. He's got a lot of stamina. Decore, very similar player. And Gomez, I don't know if Gomez is fit for Everton, but if those three playing in midfield for Everton, I think we've got to go with a three, match them, especially in midfield, especially if they do. I don't think they'll go 4-4-2, which Carlo does like to play, like he has played this season. But I
think they're going to go more diamond, probably a bit narrower and probably like what Liverpool used to play under Brendan Rodgers, like one of those like a 4-4-2 diamond or 4-3-1-2 in that thing.
But I think we do need legs, as you mentioned there, mate. And everyone, let us know your thoughts on team selection. I know a couple of years I mentioned, but that will be the key area for both sets of managers anyway. The midfield dominance, really, from either club. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Especially now it's against Everton, but I'm looking at both sides and when the lineup, it's good to see two top sets of midfielders. Like on top of the game anyway, because I think Everton, it will be probably our biggest test this season. Obviously not taking much away from Aston Villa anyway, because I think they played fantastic, but in terms of expecting the game, this would be a very big test for Liverpool, and if they can come over it, I think there'll be a lot of questions asked and answered, really.
I think it's probably the most competitive looking Merseyside derby in a very long time. Especially on paper anyway. Of course, anything can happen, in the game, for example, but it does look on paper at least, very, very exciting for us and for neutrals as well, and of course Evertonians as well. But Chris says that's good, alone, you don't abuse him, that's fine. Constructive criticism is fine. I think that's what we said about Adrian as well. Mo says the high line, the players do not run back as quickly as they should. That's in Mo's opinion. Genie's gone with Adrian, Trent, Gomez, Virgil, Robbo, Fabinho, Henderson, Genie instead of Thiago, and then Salah, Firmino, and Mane. I think many people are probably going to go with Genie because that's Klopp's, proper midfield three in many respects. But for me, I think you need to use Thiago in these types of games anyway. Chris says Thiago in for Wijnaldum anyway. Chris says I rate our transfer window 8 out of 10. Another centre back would have made it 10 out of 10. I think I would agree with that as well. I'm not nervous about the high line with Hendo and Thiago, says Liz. I think many people will be the same as well, having that security with Jordan Henderson, let alone Thiago as well, of course, because I think a lot of people, they overlook Thiago's defensive abilities. Of course, Thiago won a freaking Champions League at the end of the day of playing the number 6 role, so he's done something well, at least anyway. But Chris says every time we played without Henderson, we usually don't win. Most of the time, never get respect he deserves from neutral fans. No, Jordan Henderson will never get.
He'll never win that battle with so-called rival fans. It'll be a debate as long as time, as they say anyway, because he could win a couple of, say, 5 Champions Leagues, 5 Premier Leagues. There'll be still people out there saying, oh, he's not a good player. even though he's won handfuls of trophies. But we love our Endo. He's our captain, and it doesn't really matter what everyone else thinks.
Well, to be fair, I remember back, was it less than even 3 years ago when people were still criticizing Jordan Henderson and that, and I'm like, all of you are just a pile of frigging assholes. And
even like we've mentioned tonight, or we've give credit to Everton's midfielders. Like you don't have to be dead bitter towards a team. If a player's good enough, you can just. No. It doesn't take anything away that you're saying, "Oh yeah, Everton's midfield or Everton have got decent players." It's just being a realist, really, being a real football fan, and just trying to take your blinkers off and just say, right, yeah, as much as he's from a rival club, he's a good player. You've got to say that.
Yeah. I think we recognise, don't we? I know the Kop, every time an away goalkeeper, goes to it, we clap for the away goalkeeper, we clap for the away goalkeeper. But I think we realise, where good players are, and then we try and snatch them and try and buy them for Liverpool. But no, look, Everton, like we said, they look the most complete in years. And that's the Ancelotti effect. I think we have to give Ancelotti credit a lot as well, especially the way he's from what they were at the end of last season to what they look like now, just by making 3 or 4 signings. They look competitive now, and it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, another player we haven't mentioned, I think, how many minutes are we in? 56 minutes in, and Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, that is true.
He is going to be a very big factor tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The way he's playing, he's just doing the basics. He's just getting in the 6-yard box. Carlo, when he's speaking to my mate Ryan and a couple of Everton mates, he's just doing the basic stuff. He basically told them, get in that 6-yard box, stay there, and wait for James or Gomez or Richarlison to pick it out. And it'll be a huge game for Virgil. And if it is Matip or Gomez, and obviously the fullbacks as well, if they are picking up these runs from Lewin, because he's been doing it all season, he's been banging in goal after goal after goal after goal. We've got to be very careful, because the way in which we defend against Aston Villa, I tell you, he will have a hat-trick if we defend like we did against Aston Villa, and our lads aren't.
It'll be Ollie Watkins all over again.
Yeah, he's both. Watkins, he's a player with pace. Calvert-Lewin's not as quick as Watkins anyway, but he's got better movement really in terms of that. But him and Richarlison would be very interesting. Just let the cat in.
To be fair, I was having this debate with someone, and we were talking about Calvert-Lewin, and it was similar to what Ancelotti did with Shevchenko. At Milan, and he quoted and he was like, "Oh, Shevchenko, he wasn't good until Ancelotti, took him in at Milan, and then he turned him into this world striker. Look at what he did at Chelsea, for example, and he didn't do much in England." And it kind of got me thinking, he is currently doing that with Calvert-Lewin, because going back 12 months ago, I think even Everton fans were getting a bit frustrated at Calvert-Lewin and not being, the finish article, or not even finishing, easy opportunities. And like you said, he's taking, the basics of football and he's making it great for Everton. Yeah. And let's be honest, it's probably I would like it. I would like it to be between him and Mo Salah for Golden Boot, and I think it probably will be. As well, because we haven't mentioned Mo. Mo's on fire. He got 2 goals against Villa. What's that now? 5 goals in 4 games.
He played so well against Aston Villa. I tell you, it was one of his best performances. It was literally Mo Salah against Aston Villa. It literally was. Him and Robbo, I think to say. Him and Robbo were probably the only stand-up players against Aston Villa. And I tell you, if we didn't have Villa, that would have been a 7-0 scoreline. We didn't have Mo, but I think I'm hoping we've got them Mo at the first season when he comes to Liverpool. I tell you, if Liverpool are to regain the title and win another number 20th, I think he will be very key for Liverpool this season. And then we spoke at the top of the show, maybe selling a couple of players anyway, but potential outgoings. But I tell you, if Mo, the super dad that he is, if you haven't seen his Twitter account anyway, or his Insta, I think he had a little party for his family anyway last night.
The incredible father.
Yeah, he's such a great player. And he's a boss fella as well. But I tell you, I want him to stay at Liverpool, retire at Liverpool, and become one of Liverpool's greatest ever attacking players in the world. And we're just grateful that he's playing. But spot on there in terms of what Shevchenko, when Ancelotti come in anyway. It's some players. Everyone at home, let us know your thoughts. Some players just don't. You overcomplicate stuff. Like if you're like in terms of you looking at attacking players, if you're looking at like some players where you're just like, why have you just not stayed on the 6-yard line, or like the intuition, like in terms of getting in the run and getting in the box? And I think that's what Calvert-Lewin's doing now. He's doing the basics, but a lot of players in the Premier League and especially around Europe, they try and overcomplicate things, and that really, Calvert-Lewin he's just standing in the 6-yard box and he's getting deliveries, getting goals.
I know that, and like if you're a fantasy football guy, like I think all of us are, if you're involved in football, of course, we've been wishing Calvert-Lewin to score a couple of times, but not this weekend. Take him out your squad because he's not going to score. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comment section anyway. Before I'll read a couple more comments, I'll read all of the comments, then we'll get talking about score predictions, and then we'll be heading off then, because we have been going for an hour. So and it's been it's mental how time flies when you're having fun. But Jeannie says, lads, do you think Thiago should start or back to basics? I think we already answered that. I think we're both going with Thiago. Diego goes, agreed. Whoever wins the midfield battle will probably win the derby. I think there is whenever your Mane starts for Liverpool, Liverpool have never failed to win. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And I think we missed Mane's intensity on the left-hand side. And to be fair, that's kind of a little bit of inexperience from Jota. Anyway, of course, moving to a new team, even though Wolves and Liverpool play a similar style of press anyway. But Jeannie says, Kopish, I hate Neko, sorry. We don't here at the Cup Council. We love Neko Williams. Chris goes, my lineup, Adrian, Trent, Gomez, or Matip, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, Salah, Firmino, and Mane. I think that is pretty much everyone's 11 then, if you want to say as well. Liz goes, Adrian, Trent, VVD, Matip, Robbo, Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, and they're the best front three in the land. Absolutely. She also says the front three need to start together for the first time ever at the derby. That is true. That was actually a stat I forgot about. Yeah, it's actually true.
That never happened.
Yeah, we've never played the front three against Everton.
Wow. Oh, yeah, it's always been Divock and Edie, hasn't it? When I've been going in, Divock's just been up front scoring hat-tricks against Yev. But that's an amazing stat, that.
Yeah, because we almost did it in 2017, didn't we? But I think Bobby come back late from international duty, so we ended up sticking, was it Dominic Solanke at Anfield?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Oh, Jesus Christ, Dominic Solanke. Jesus Christ. Mo says, I hope that COVID-19 hasn't affected the lungs of any of the players like Thiago, Mane, Tsimikas, and now Keita. As far as what Jurgen said, everyone's fine. Everyone's healthy and that. So, I think a journalist did ask something like that, and he did say they've had all the tests, everything is fine, everything's good. So, that's a very good and positive thing as well, that they have fully recovered from it. Of course, Diego says, agreed. Whoever wins them, you already put that in. Let me scroll down. It jumped up. Right, there we go. Liz says, Connor getting fancy again. Oh, do you mean about the? Let me go back. Liz, do you mean about this? I always like showing off to you guys and doing new stuff.
It's like we're on a match of the day, yeah.
Oh Jesus! Don't compare me to match of the day.
Hey, that's the match of the day.
Come on, like we know this. Nah, I'm joking. Look, at the end of the day, I like showing off new gadgets to you guys, and hopefully you like it as well. But Diego says, who is the ref in the derby? Liz has said that Michael Oliver is the referee, which I'm happy about. It's not Martin Atkinson. At least it's not Martin Atkinson.
Bet it isn't the VAR room, though.
Can anyone let us know who is the VAR referee? If it's Martin Atkinson, I'm going to cry.
I think he lives over the water anyway, so he probably might be in the VAR booth, in the van, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Middle of Stanley Park, the VAR van.
I know he's outside at Stanley Park, just like in a little box, like freaking. It's like if any of you know, do you remember like Do you remember Top Gear? And that where they had like the little blue car that was like very tiny.
Yeah.
That's the VAR booth. Martin Atkinson. Chris says we need to show that the Villa result is like the Watford result from last season and a one-off. We hope. Yeah, like I said, I said after the Villa game, in my personal opinion, Liverpool have 3 strikes based off last season. Us getting 99 points. Maybe we can get away with 4, because of Man City, potentially. But, I think 3 strikes this year, 3 losses is the maximum this season to win the title again. So who knows? But like we did say, football's that unpredictable this year. It who knows? Like the title might be won by like 91 points this year. But still, you need to get over that 90 barrier to at least be in the conversation for the title, because that's how the level Liverpool and Manchester City have put up. To be fair. What we got? Seema says, I would expect Ancelotti to play a defensive style and try and hit us from a counter attack. I think we said that. To be fair, Liz says Mo is Mr. Incredible. Yeah, he is. He's absolutely fantastic. I was going to say the Egyptian Incredible, the Incredible Egyptian. There we go. The Incredible Egyptian. New name for Mo Salah, the Incredible Egyptian. Jeannie goes, is that the first 19 by mistake? I don't know what you mean by that. Jeannie, let us know. Diego goes, great point, Chris. Their weakness is the Everton goalkeeper. I'm sorry, do you mean the dinosaur, Toy Story? What? What is the dinosaur's name?
Is it Rex? Yeah.
It is Rex.
Oh,
it is Rex.
Rex and go.
I'd love a Liverpool fan just to shout, Rex! Yeah. Jesus Christ. Like, it's kind of being toxic, isn't it? But, we'll allow it. Jeannie goes, if Hendo is fit, any 10 will do. Yeah, absolutely. The Cock Council's biggest fans is, hi, mate, how is it going tonight? It's going fantastic, mate. Hopefully having a fantastic day, mate, as well. And, I think that's all the questions. Yeah, if anyone has any more questions, then please leave in the comments. But Jack, let's get on to score prediction for the game. What are you going for tomorrow's Merseyside derby?
I think not going to go big. I'm going to keep it good. 2-0. 2-0 Liverpool.
Oh, okay. See, I look like a copycat now. That was my score prediction. It was 2-0. I think this. To be fair, I think with someone obviously mentioned it in the chat. With the Jordan Henderson and Thiago coming in, I think the midfield is going to be a lot more solid. I think that we're going to win the midfield battle. It's going to be hard, don't get me wrong, but I think, that midfield has played with each other. Obviously, Thiago hasn't, but, Thiago's played a very similar style, with Bayern Munich. So for me, I think it's going to be 2-0. I think the defense is going to definitely be better than what it was. And I think that Joel Matip is going to pocket either Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin. Is that a bold prediction? Screw it. It is. Why not? But yeah, I think he's going to pocket him, even though we have, praised Calvert-Lewin in this video. And to be fair, he is a solid player. And to be fair, after this weekend, you can score as many goals as you want, because I'll definitely be putting you on my fantasy league team for sure. But Jeannie says, I'm sticking with 5-0 to the champions. Come on, God, Jeannie. That would be a dream, but I don't think it's going to happen. Mate, Chris says, hopefully we win tomorrow. If not, just don't lose, as that would be very painful if we did lose. Yeah, absolutely. And then controversy one, but Jota over Firmino. Jack had Jota.
Yeah, as it means to start. Yeah. I think no disregard to Bobby, but I think in terms of his personal form, I'd be very intrigued to say, as we mentioned in the show, if Jurgen does go to a 3 midfield, or if he does go to a 2 holding DMs and plays 1 more attacking-minded player. But yeah, I would start with Jota. It'd be interesting to see if Klopp could go that same anyway. But I think, for me personally, I think Bobby just needs a rest. He looked tired against Aston Villa. He's been flying all over the gaff with Brazil as well. He got a double for Brazil. So I think for me, I'd just give Jota a little run out in the team, Because I think that's the whole point in which we signed him. Some of these players, especially Mane, we cannot really afford to drop Mane because he's so prolific, really, and we missed him heavily against Aston Villa. But yeah, I spot on there. The biggest fan.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe, probably Jota. If Jota was to come in my opinion, I think he'd probably go on the left and then put Mane in the middle. Because I think when we put Salah in the middle, it doesn't really work. I think when Mane does, I think it works a lot better, in my opinion, anyway. But Council's biggest fan says Calvert-Lewin is a tap in Merchant. I don't know. I think he's better than a tap in Merchant. To be honest, though. Ryan NFC go. Oh, Ryan's in. How are you, Ryan? Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day, mate. It says Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Let's go, Liverpool. Absolutely. Chris goes Gomez or Matip will pocket Everton. Everton's Pookie, that is Calvert-Lewin. Liz goes 3-1 Liverpool. Hendo, Mane, and Mo. Yeah, absolutely. And Chris, for the last comment of the video, goes, yeah, good point about Firmino. We signed Jota because he can come for one of the front three who needs a rest at some point. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes is absolutely fantastic. Time flies. It's crazy how time flies. But Jack, thank you very much for coming on to the match preview show. Where can we find you, mate, on the socials?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on, mate. I know I haven't been doing my videos. I've been trying to, if anyone's over from my channel as well, I haven't been trying to get me theory sorted. I passed it, so I will be back this week anyway. So I've been trying to get me driving sorted. So apologies, I haven't been uploading anyway. But yeah, thank you for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure as always. I was made up, and just hopefully the Reds do get all 3 points tomorrow. I'll try and jump on a post-match show with you tomorrow as well. Try and get you on my channel as well. But I'm excited, Reds. Everyone, enjoy the game tomorrow afternoon. Have a nice fry up tomorrow as well. Have some decent scran and just watch the footy. I'm just hoping it's a fantastic game. And we've got blue mates anyway, haven't we? Somewhere, if it's in work or your relatives or your cousins or whatnot. There's always one.
For Jack, it's literally around the corner.
Next door, everyone, calling me family as well, my cousins. Yeah. So, but it'd be good for the city as long as it's a good game. As we mentioned, I'm just hoping it's not a draw. Yeah. And Liverpool do win, and it's just not a 0-0. I just don't want a 0-0. I just want a good result and convincing Liverpool performance. But thank you for having me on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. And everyone at home, hopefully have a lovely night, keeping safe and well, Reds. Just look after one another.
Yeah, absolutely. And, thank you for coming on. And well done on passing. I didn't know that. Jack didn't tell me before we went on. So, yeah, well done. I thought, well, I'll be seeing Jack now cruising, and then I'll be running away from the road when I see Jack running past. But, yeah.
I'm not too bad of a driver. I passed my theory, so I just need to pass my test now. So.
To be fair, if you pass your theory, you're going to easily pass your test. I think I think the theory is harder than the actual driving.
Everyone is home. It's a bit off topic, but like it's weird. Like everyone goes, "Oh, the theories." As long as you revise for the theory, everyone, if you haven't taken it or not. Anyway, but just revise your theory. There's a good app because I did struggle. I think I failed a couple of times on my theory. I didn't pass it straight away. Not one of those lucky people that don't even revise and you pass. But I don't know. Some people do that if it's in school or uni or exams and that. Some people are like very fortunate in life that they just guess all the questions and that. But yeah.
just try and focus and try and get it done. But yeah, like I said, thank you for coming on, mate, as always. Everyone, please go and subscribe if you're not already to Jack Mac LFC. All the links will be in the video description down below once the video is uploaded and processed, because for some reason StreamYard likes to do it 12 hours after we post this and go live, so who knows why not. But yeah, thank you to all of you that have tuned in. I've seen the numbers. It's been a massive audience we have had in here tonight, so thank you to everyone that has viewed this. If you could do me the massive favor and please give the video a like, massively appreciate it, and lets me know that you do like the match preview shows. And also as well, like I said, please go and subscribe to Jack, but also as well, while you're here, then please leave a subscribe here, and don't forget to enable notifications. We are heading very, very close to 400 subscribers, so if you could help us on that our way, it'd be massively appreciated. But that is going to be it from us, guys. I've been Connor from the Cop Council, and I will see you all later on. Tra Reds.